Okay, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
That's the first time you've ever said 1, 2, 3. You fucking bastard.
I thought the claps would be more than enough.
You're a fucking dick. You know that?
I have to agree with that. Okay, we'll start right there. So
You never told me I needed to say
That's
1,
the
2, 3.
first time you've
You
ever
just told
said
me to
one-
clap.
No,
I thought
you
the
said
clapping
clap
so you
and
could see
say
the
1, 2,
spike was the
3,
most
you
important.
fuck.
It's true. We have at the beginning of every single one of our podcast episodes, we record our audio individually from each of our ends so that it's the best quality nowadays. And in order to do that, we need to sync up the audio with our video. So I ask everybody to go 1, 2, 3, clap their hands, and say the numbers 1, 2, 3 as we go. And Too Bold, despite him being present for every single one of these episodes, he is just for the first time ever. He only claps. He just for the first time
I
counted
always
with it.
thought that it was just important you see the spike in the audio to go along with the clap. I thought it was redundant to put 1, 2, 3. You never told me. You just kept on going without saying anything, so I thought it was fine. You need to tell me these things if I'm going to change.
It's not fine. Because you've seen it
a lot
every
of
week.
things are redundant. Do you think if
Listen,
the military,
I take the
do you think if
path-
our soldiers didn't do things that were redundant, you think we'd be as much of a powerhouse as we are?
Do you know how expensive a U.S. military
Do you not
soldier
support
is?
the troops, Too Bold?
I don't know how this got to
Over
this point.
$15,000 is worth one U.S. military soldier with all their equipment.
This
Too Bold.
man doesn't support the troops, and I'm
you're
saying
just
that right
throwing
now.
that money away.
Listen, man, I do support them. All right, like if they I'm just saying maybe redundancy, could be outdone. I don't know.
Okay, now do you have to support
saying, if
every
you wanted me to
troop?
change, you should have told me that to begin with.
What if a soldier's like an asshole? Do you have to support that guy?
I mean, like.
Because you support our troops, right? Like, I support the troops, obviously. Like, why wouldn't you support the
sure.
troops? But, like, if somebody came home as a veteran and then, like, trashed a bar I really like, do I have to support that guy?
I'd be like, hey, man, thanks for.
Would you feel more
thanks for
obligated to
risking your
support
life for
them
me, but
because
also,
I feel like I
you're
wouldn't
kind
say
of a
anything.
dick.
I
You
wouldn't
just
say
walk
anything.
away.
Right? Like, I wouldn't say anything to him.
Like, it was
Because-
just, if it was just a casual guy who just trashed the bar, he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? But if it's a troop, you'd be like, okay.
As a soldier, I'm like, oh, this is a military operation. I should leave.
That's not what would be going through my mind. I would have to second think it. It's like, okay, in my being a youth, I've ingrained that, like, the soldiers and stuff, like, everybody, like, they protect us. So I need to just, be okay with everything they're doing. But, like, what if you saw, like, a soldier just, like, knock over a little kid or something? You know what I'm saying? Like
Just start cheering. Got
Well,
him.
clearly that kid was a
got it.
threat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Clearly that kid was a threat.
It's just,
The
this
only
is
reason
what
I
I've always thought,
Sorry,
because
yeah.
I've always thought this was ridiculous, right? Like, in other countries, and, like, especially, I'm pretty sure, like, Japan, if I remember correctly, or China,
Everybody
there's, like,
has
this
to
huge...
serve, right?
There's, like, a... No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like,
Okay.
There's this huge thing where, like, if you're an older person, you automatically have to be respected, like, 100% of the time, right? And I've always thought that was so ridiculous, because it doesn't take any skill to get old. Like, you just have to be, like, back in the day, sure, like, when every single day was like, I might not make it to 30 because I ate a bad potato, and then you're just gone. Like, if you managed to get to, like, 70 in the Wild West, you probably survived, like, 14 different life-threatening diseases on Tuesday. So, I mean, like, that would be impressive. But, like, nowadays, just like, you must respect your elders. I'm like, what if I don't want to respect them? Like, what if they're racist? Like, do I have to respect them? I'm pretty sure that's not good. Like, it's that kind of thing. Like, to me, it's always been, like, I don't give anyone, like, that high level of respect of, like, do whatever you want. Like, you have to earn it in some way for me, right? And, like, if you risk your life, chances are, yeah, okay, I can respect that. But if you're just a guy, like, that was, like, in the reserves or something, and, like, nothing happened to you, right? And then you trash my favorite bar, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, you kind of a dick. But you kind of did. You can't.
Yeah, this brings me to something I really wanted to talk about. So you're talking about, like, how old people, like, okay, back before, maybe, let's say, like, the 1850s. I feel like the 1850s is, like, a hard cutoff of, like, when kind of, like, real society kind of started. Like, the right? Like the industrial age and stuff like that. Am I
Everything
wrong?
before 1850s was not society. It was
what
random
What I want to
wasteland.
start is like 1850 and beyond, like to us, is like normal age. Before that is Elden Ring. Is literally
Elden Ring.
that's what people were living in, right? Like any sort of thing that you came across could fucking kill you.
You'd get 2 shot or 1 shot. Yes.
That's what
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like the things that threatened them back then haven't changed comparatively to what
well, now we
threatens
have
now.
guns, you know.
Yeah, but
And
like
right off the
thing-
bat, when you're young, you get called maidenless, aka you don't have a wife at age 16, like 17, 18. Basically, when you're expected to have a significant other like that.
Okay,
I'm liking this.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
What I'm saying is, like, before like modern era, it was so much like Elden Ring. Like, people were dying left and right. Like when somebody dies now, and I'm not like, okay, I'm trying political. I don't even know how to say this. You know, like when somebody dies now, it makes news like, oh, this guy got murdered, blah, blah, blah. One dude died, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Before, people were dying left and right, dude. Like, they were just, oh, that, my cousin died, fighting a wolf. I don't know what he was doing out there, but he was hunting and gathering.
Make the town crier at that point. Like, the town crier glossed over that when he came around once a week to be like, hear ye, hear ye. John's cousin died to a wolf, the lout, and then he closes it and walks away.
Yeah, was that a story that would be written down in newspapers and everything?
There was no newspapers.
No, there were surely pieces of news outlets and media that was thrown through text.
This is before the printing press. There
Hieroglyphics.
was no news. There was just guys that came around. You had to hope that they had a really good memory, didn't mess up the facts when they started yelling about stuff. Because like that was like the only way to get news. Is like the town
They would be like
crier.
Christmas carolers, but they wouldn't sing. They would just give you horrible news that happened throughout the week.
Who were the
Yeah,
people
but
that
it
did the
wasn't horrible
Trojan
news all the
horse?
time. Sometimes it's like the king is coming, and like, oh, that's great, a festival, like that kind of thing.
Who were the people that did the Trojan horse? Like the Chinese wall, like the great.
Do you mean the Trojans that built the
Were
Trojan
they
horse?
were they like the end game Elden Ring boss? Like for the Chinese?
Like you hit a boss and it just spills out a whole bunch of NPCs.
Yes, that's literally, you know what they call that? A fucking, you know what that reminded me of?
That's
the Rave
summoning!
Cleanse the Mist.
That's
or
a summoning
spider
fucking
type shit.
spell.
It's like you're talking about like a spider's like egg sack or whatever when you kill one,
Yes,
and then like a billion
thousands
spiders
of
come out.
spiders come out, and they just start crawling all over you, and they start feeding on you just right out of the egg.
And
Here's
then
what I
people
don't
started
understand
getting more
about-
and more
about
broken.
the Trojan War, and especially the
Okay.
war horse. Like someone just left a giant wooden horse,
And
like,
as a
that
kid.
would be
As a
that
kid.
would be perfect in our courtyard. Just bring that in.
Yeah, it was made of,
Because
what was it made of? Like
Mongols,
wood, right?
Was it the Mongols or the? I need to know the
The
name.
Mongols? For who?
The great, why they built the Wall of China.
Oh yeah, it was for the Mongols. Yeah,
Mongols. Okay,
it didn't work at all. By the way,
it worked.
like literally the most expensive and least effective wall ever made.
No way.
I swear to you, the Mongols didn't even care. They walked over it. They're just
that
like,
doesn't
yeah,
make
we
any
don't.
sense.
They're like, I got a rope.
Is that sort of like the you build a 50-foot wall, I'll build a 60-foot ladder kind of thing?
Yeah, like essentially, yes, because like the Mongols, they just wanted to take everything, and they're not going to let a tiny wall stop them. Like, here's the thing with the Great Wall of China.
I mean, China's still around, so they like
yeah,
the
but
Mongols
that's,
aren't around.
Yeah, but
right?
you don't under. Okay, here's the thing, right? Like, I went to China, I saw the wall. When I was climbing,
Are there
the
still
wall,
Mongols? You go to the Great Wall of China, you peek over, there's a bunch of fucking Mongols.
I was just about to say, when I went to China and I was on the Great Wall, I took one of my classroom friends or whatever
They
with me, and
stop
I
you,
looked
it's like,
over the
"Alright,
side, and I'm
don't
like,
look over the
this
wall,
wall's
they
pretty
might-
effective. I don't
you might
see a
get shot by an
single
arrow."
Mongol.
Day.
And I was like, but it's kind of weird that we just had Mongolian barbecue like yesterday. So I don't know if this wall is very effective or they just decided to go around.
I can imagine a tour
Like
guide
that-
in fucking for the Great Wall of China is like, okay, you have to be careful because sometimes we do get attacked by the Mongols, and
God damn it. Starts ringing a bell.
And then the scribe comes out. Young Tubald has been killed by the Mongols.
So they do have newspapers. They do tell about deaths in the media. It's just through scrolls.
Dude, the Great Wall of China is such a fascinating, like, structure. Because, like, some Chinese dude, I don't even remember who it was, but, like, he was just like, we need a wall. And they're like, okay, where would you like the wall? No. It's not where. It's going to be across all of China. And some guy just went, dead ass? And started building, and he didn't even question it. And the best part is that wall is so unbelievably long, it just kept getting built through the ages, and it's like no one ever said stop. Like, they just kept building this wall. People were dying left and right, and they just threw them in as part of the mortar. Like, they just hucked them in. And I walked on that wall, dude. It is impossible to walk on that thing. Like, it takes so much out of you to go up, like, one little hill, because it's like a straight incline up a mountain. Yeah. And then it just keeps going over. And I'm just like, this seems unnecessary. The mountain would stop most things at this point. I can't even get up here. The wall is redundant. Like, it's just so funny to me how much of this wall they built. It was crazy.
Well,
like,
it's all about the angles.
Coming through here.
Okay, the wall is built on a horizontal angle from the mountain, so you're climbing up. But when you go sideways, I guess is that even... No, vertical is like up and down. Okay, if you're going sideways on a mountain, it's easier than climbing up a mountain. So they need that wall in between.
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing, though. Like, to go sideways on this mountain, you would have to go sideways up for a very long time. Okay. And, like, it's a very steep mountain. Like, you could just put wall in between the mountain parts and save yourself, like, a couple 100 hours of work.
Yeah, but if they didn't build the Great Wall of China, Danny Way would have never been able to kickflip it, so...
I will concede that is true.
What is that?
It's hard to believe, though, that some Chinese emperor in the past was just like, but if we don't do this,
a pro skater
how would anyone
built a mega ramp around the Great Wall of China.
What?
You ever see that video?
No.
Yeah, dude, his name is Danny Way. He's a fucking legend.
So he made a ramp on both sides so that he could get up successfully and then safely land on the other side.
Even with the Mongols on one side, yeah, they let him do it.
Yeah, the Mongols were cheering, if I remember correctly. They were just like, fuck yeah, we should have done that. Put some rollerblades on their horses, ramp the bitch, and just get over, start hucking arrows like Legolas. Oh my god, it'd be great.
Yeah, no, that was actually a real thing. That Danny Way fucking jumped the Great Wall of China. And he would have never done that if it wasn't for the Mongols. So I think we just, for a second, like...
he wouldn't have been able to jump the Great Wall of China if not for the Great Wall of China.
If not for the Mongol threat of ancient China, Danny Way would never kickflip it. It's just crazy to think. It's like that meme of the dominoes, right? Where it's just like
right in the birth of YouTube, like around like 2007, I think.
Dude, it's like that meme of like the dominoes where it gets like a really small domino and then it's like a really big one, right?
And
it's like
Harambe
dies, Trump becomes president. But this one, it's just like ancient Mongol hordes approach China, and the big domino is Danny Way kickflips over the Great Wall.
Oh god. Okay, so you said that the Great Wall of China was one of the worst like military structures of all time. Have you ever heard of the Ardennes forest?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So I don't remember exactly what the countries was, but it was a specific country versus Germany, right? World War II or World War I. One. I'm getting them mixed up, but I know there is something called the Ardennes forest where they put they thought that the forest was so thick that tanks and shit couldn't get through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't do anything in the Ardennes forest, no defenses, and then right next to it there was a big plot of land straight into the main city, and they put a bunch of these guns, like massive fucking guns and tanks and soldiers, all pointed at Germany, so that they can't invade.
Mm-hmm.
And then Germany was like, you vastly underestimated what tanks can do, and just drove through the Ardennes forest and then attacked them from behind. And what they didn't do was have the ability to turn those big guns the other way. So they got completely destroyed. It was like the worst military defeat ever. And then not only did they do the tanks, they also did aerial, like fucking paratroopers and shit. They just completely, like, all of this
just
time and money
these guys.
spent. Yeah, dude. I it's so fucking, like, the history is crazy, man. It's crazy that you can look back on it and just, like, laugh. Like, even though thousands of people died.
Just look back and laugh at them.
But it's just like, how could you not think, you know? Like, just think a second. You know, we have planes now.
I think what is the craziest thing is looking back at, like, really ancient history and, like, just imagining what it must be like back in the day when there's nothing. Like, you can't mass produce goods, right? Like, in the way that we do today. So, like, everything is really valuable, right? And then you have a dude like Hannibal. Like, I'm sure everyone knows about the General Hannibal. Hannibal is, like, this dude from, like, ancient Rome, right? And he starts saying, you know, I'm going to go conquer a whole bunch of stuff. And all people in Rome are just like, yeah, man, you go nuts. Or no, people in Rome, Hannibal was against them, I think. I don't really remember. Basically, Hannibal was off to the side and he wanted to go fight a war. And he had a whole bunch of, like, war elephants and these just crazy soldiers, right? And he's like a military genius. Now, he's trying to get to Rome, I believe. And the Romans are just like, well, we're going to put a stop to that at this place that's like a pass right between the mountains, right? And you guys will never get past here because this is such a strong military strategic holding, and no one could ever possibly cross the Alps, especially not Hannibal with his soldiers that are completely unused to mountain warfare, and they have friggin' elephants, and elephants could never cross the Alps. And Hannibal just sits back and he's just like
Xerxes.
I'm gonna climb that bitch, and he takes his entire army through the Alps. Like, all of them. And all of his soldiers are just like, this sucks. And, like, a lot of them are just dying left and right because it's so cold. And Hannibal loses thousands and thousands of his troops just going through the mountains. And then he still makes it to the other side and just runs through them. And it's insane because back then you have to think about how cold it was, and they didn't have any gear. Like,
not
like
they
didn't have shoes.
I mean, they were literally skinning animals, and, like, I mean, we're doing that now, but we've understood how to protect ourselves from winter. But you know, it's funny how much winter plays into war. I like to call it. I have a. So during World War II, Germany invaded Russia, right, for a little bit, or somebody invaded. I don't, dude. The names kind of confuse me, but I know that somebody invaded Russia. It's probably Germany, the Axis power, and they didn't account for. They accounted for everything. They got, like, supply chains, everything.
Oh, yeah.
What they didn't account for was what I like to call General Winter. Like, winter came through and froze everything. And then the Russians that were so used to it would go in and, like snow ghillie suits and just, like, pop tires and, like, stop, like, supply chains and shit like that and completely win the war for them. It's like they made it such a nuisance. They were like, "Fuck this, we're getting out." Like, we don't even know.
That was a couple times that happened. That was Napoleon and also Germany in World War II. So Napoleon went there the first time. But here's the thing: people think that Napoleon invaded in the middle of winter. It's not the case. Napoleon invaded months in advance of winter.
And
like,
then winter came.
We will take Russia well before winter happens. And everyone's like, yeah, Napoleon, you're a pretty good general. We believe you. And the Russians were like, fuck you and fuck this place. And they set fire to everything while they were walking away. And they just burn everything down. Napoleon's like, well, we can't scavenge for anything. And it's getting a little chilly. And then winter came, and that just put the end to his, like, Russian
General Winter was like in 300 Xerxes, there will be no glory in your sacrifice.
Exactly.
Like, just wiped out everyone. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And then the same thing happened with Germany. Like, they come by in the winter, and then the Russians are just like, we don't have to do anything. We'll just... Russia's pretty big, and winter's pretty cold.
Do you want to know a fun fact about World War II?
What's that?
Sure.
Okay, so do you know, obviously we're all gamers here. Everybody's listening as a gamer. You've all come across a thing called a Molotov cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the origin in real life of a Molotov cocktail?
I always assumed it was Russian. It seems like something they would do.
Russia had a General Molotov. That was his name, General Molotov. And he was quite a drinker. And it was kind of world known that he was a big drinker. As most Russians are. I don't know why that was, like, the specific thing, but, like, everybody knew
legendary.
that legendary drinker. And they were invading Finland. And what they didn't know about Finland is that when you do your 5th birthday, you're not given like a toy or like an Xbox. You're given a rifle, and you are fucking learning the way of the gun in Finland. That's just the way it is. You're hunting and gathering. You're fucking. Side note: there's this guy named the Snow Assassin, something like that, the Snow Killer. That he got like 700 or something confirmed kills with a sniper without
the White Death.
Yeah, without a fucking scope.
Yeah, he was just hidden. Like, Russia tried to invade Finland, and some hillbilly in Finland was just like, "Well, fuck them." And he just took out his rifle and he just hid in trees, and he killed like over 700 Russians, and they were firing blindly into the trees trying to find this guy. And by the time they finally found him, the Russians had named him the White Death because no one could get through the forest without getting their head blown away. And like when they finally found him, they shot him, blew half his face off, and then this hillbilly was just like, "Well, that's not going to be enough." And he was still alive when they got him with half his face missing. And then the Russians just like, "Listen, man, if you could survive that, you're something else. We're going to leave you alone."
But back to the Molotov story. So the way that Russians would invade things, and I'm sure as gamers we know what a convoy is, right? So they would have like tanks in the front and the back, then maybe like a Warthog type vehicle right behind the tanks, like in between. Yeah, sure. And then like all of the supplies, right? And they would convoy all the way through where they wanted to go. So Finland invented this sort of like where you put a rag in an alcohol bottle, shake it up, and light it on fire. And they realized that when you throw it, the alcohol explodes and it makes a huge firebomb. And they named it the Molotov Cocktail to fuck with the general. So it wasn't actually Russia that invented the Molotov Cocktail. It was Finland. And what they would do is they would hide in the trees and they would Molotov Cocktail the front and the back of the convoy so that they couldn't move anywhere. And then they would go from the woods and fucking destroy them. It's crazy.
Oh, this was used as an actual military strategy. I thought they discovered it by just screwing with people, like throwing fires at...
No, they used it as a military fucking thing.
Oh.
I always just assumed it was like some Russian dudes were just like taking bottles and just like filling them with rags and just chucking them at Nazis. That's all.
With all the smoking and all the drinking that was going on at bars and just in public areas and everything. Eventually someone is bound to have an accident with fire and alcohol, and then they were. Well,
you can imagine Finland didn't have like the crazy, they didn't have grenades and shit like that, like ready for war. They're not like a number one country. Sorry to our Finnish listeners if we have them, but at the time they weren't like fucking America or Russia or Germany or fucking like any of the crazy powers. So they had to like kind of. They're Finland, and they kind of had to like they knew their way around the land. It's crazy like what necessity does to like in history, like. We needed this. We needed grenades. We needed a way to like stop an unmovable object, and they do it. That shit is so cool.
I also hear Finland is like one of the most like isolationist type of population. Like the people live miles away from each other, and every meme you see about people in Finland is like when you wake up or whatever, they go outside and like they grab their paper and they like say hi to the person like a mile away, and they're just like, "Hey, do you want to come over?" "No, fuck off," and then they go back into their house. I just always thought that would be so funny. Like you just grow up like completely isolated, and say hi, fuck you, they just go away. Yeah, I don't think there's too many like stereotypes I could really think of Finland besides those like one.
The only stereotypes I can think of is that they're fucking dope with snipers.
Yeah, which I mean, to be fair, not too bad. Dope. And it's cold, and like their snow drifts are like 90 feet high, and they're just sitting there angrily drinking through their entire like year-long winter.
But I just found that so cool that they named it the Molotov Cocktail just to fuck with the general, like just to be like, like. Haha, like it sounds like League of Legends. It's like what I'm saying? It's like it's that kind of toxic.
By a Molotov.
You know what the one thing that is weird about League of Legends toxicity, and we experienced that firsthand at the LCS event that we went through over the weekend.
Oh my
is
god,
that
it's open.
I've always associated toxicity with just the worst types of things that you can say. But the thing is that people say that League is so toxic, not because of how creative people get in their insults and all that, and just how like far down the degeneracy comments they can go. It's more so how, I guess, out of the way that people seem to go when it comes to saying something as simple as like "you're bad" in all chat in League of Legends. Like everybody just does that, or saying like "easy" at the end of games and all that. So when you compare League of Legends toxicity to Call of Duty toxicity, the thing with Call of Duty is that I feel like a lot of people associated with just like racism, sexism, like all that. League, I haven't really seen that too much. It's just more so going out of your way as soon as someone makes the simplest of mistakes and going, "you're bad," or like "you're trash," or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a difference. So like in Call of Duty toxicity, at the end of the day, I could always laugh about it. Like right when the match starts and I can't hear like everybody talking, I'm like laughing like, holy shit, everybody just said some really funny shit. Like called me words I've never heard before. You know what I'm saying?
They're all below the age of 15.
And
it's just
then
like,
you can
where
start
are your
playing
parents?
the game and it's fine because it's Call of Duty. But in League, I don't laugh. You don't laugh. You are actually angry. It's like, fuck you, dude. I'm not that bad. You're bad too. Like, and it's funny because what Fish we went to the LCS thing this week, and the pros are toxic.
Yes,
we see them spamming their fucking like level 7 mastery on whenever they kill like the same shit you see in games.
In public games. They're using
in
emotes
public
and all
games, dude. And then when they got on the mic, it's like, yeah, we're gonna destroy them all.
Yeah, there's what was the guy's name? It was like Summit or something was doing a really good job on C9's game, and then somebody on what do you call it, 100 Thieves at the end of the game they go, "This is a team game, by the way. So Summit, you're not going to win a 1v5. This is a 5v5 game at the end of the day."
It's crazy. The toxicity is just ingrained in it. I don't know, man. It's just like in League, you could feel like
even
you're doing so good. The commentators are
BMing
toxic.
C9 the whole time.
C9 was losing. I was like, there's no way they come back from this. Man, if they could FF, they would. Like, like it was so bad.
Even the commentators.
Yes, they're supposed to be unbiased,
so
but the moment that someone messes up, it's just like, oh man, I haven't seen flops as bad as this since something.
What is this, bronze?
Yeah. It is bad.
That's so good,
People
man.
are just accepting of it.
Oh my god. That's like, I'm pretty sure I thought like commentators were supposed to be like super PG and whatnot about things.
Not here,
like,
man.
Like half the commentators that I know, like from old montages and things of like pro players, right? Like the commentators are like half the fun most of the time. Like when you get some European dude, just be like, "Oh my god, he's absolutely gone and done it again. Truly, he is the pinnacle of supremacy in the rift," and like shit like that. But then like you have a guy just being like, "Oh yeah, no, that's bronze as hell." Just a normal guy just talking about it. That's what it feels like at that point.
It really felt that way. It was so bad that I remember quite a few moments that when the commentators would say something, the crowd would be like, "Ooh,
yeah."
I really hope his mother wasn't here watching that one because he would surely be reassured that she had raised an actual disappointment. You're like, what the hell?
Holy shit.
Is he allowed to do that? It's okay. He says that about everyone. I don't think that makes that better, actually.
Dude, I think that this weekend was probably my most fun weekend that I've had since I moved to LA. There was just so much that happened.
And I didn't go to any of it.
What do you mean? You were literally there for 2/3 of, I guess, that weekend.
He hates me.
No, that's just not true. And also,
Makes
he
you
was
feel any
invited.
better.
He was
I was
invited
there for 0/3 of it.
He was invited to the one event or the other event that he didn't go to, and that was his choice entirely. Yeah. So Friday it was the we can say it, right? I get so nervous because it's like a private household. It's like the Nrg Castle We went there.
It was live. It was live on.
I know,
Asu's
but I
channel.
remember the first time, like we went to an Nrg Castle event for Mitch Jones's performance, and then the whole time there's thinking like you can't upload.
There's no way
anything
you
to
just
Instagram
brought that up
story.
right now.
Why?
We signed NDAs, bro.
No, we did not sign NDAs. Okay.
No, we didn't.
okay. So
You just gave Phish the most serious look, and Phish actually thought that he was about to lose his home.
yeah. Well, no, I
Get
know.
the
I
hell
could,
back
we could
to
say
New York.
literally anything here right now because it's offline. And so
It's
I
all
will never-
happened. No, it's all happened. Like it was live on Twitch. Like we can talk about it. It's fine.
Okay. Well, yeah. Either way.
Just don't say the address.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was confused about. Yeah, but we went to the Nrg Castle, and that was cool because I got to see everybody there. And for the first time in my life, it felt, or not in my life, ever since I moved here, it felt like I knew people there. You know, like there was just so many people that would just show up and then be like, Phish or Philippe, and I'd be like, yo, I fucking know you, yeah. And then, yeah, it felt like
What was their name, Phish?
friends
what was their
there.
name?
Dude, there's like, I can confidently say I knew over 15 people there that were
Woo!
just as excited to see me as I was to see
dude.
them. Yeah. And it
Dude,
felt
talking
good.
for a long
before
time
we-
about
before
how
we move on to the
uncomfortable you
next-
felt in LA.
How what?
You're just like, I just don't know anyone here.
Yeah, I
Now you
mean,
got like 15 friends you can find at events.
yeah, I think that.
No,
that
he has way
recently-
more than 15 friends, dude.
I know,
I've
this was only this
introduced him to
guaranteed.
so many people.
Yeah, I imagine you would.
So dude, at the Nrg Castle, there is this. I saw this dude as I was ordering a drink and was like, "Is that an Evosu?" And if you guys don't know who Evosu is, listeners and Tubal and Phish, is he's a Melee commentator.
Oh,
He's known by the meme of the girl with the really big ass, like walking behind him and then he looks. Do you know that? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a really big fan of Melee and I watch Melee all the time, and I'm a big fan of Evosu. I think he is fucking hilarious. His streams, everything. He just recently won Schooled on Miskiff stream.
Nice.
And so he has this story where I don't know if you guys remember when Hbox won and he got a crab thrown at him.
Yeah, I remember. Great day.
Okay, so fuck you, man. Hbox is a nice guy. All right.
Listen, I just hate Puff. Okay, I think it's. The most
I
boring
understand
Melee
you
to
can
watch.
hate the way he plays, but he plays to
I hate
win.
it.
He plays
Yeah,
to win.
exactly. And it's boring. It's
You're
like
boring.
watching someone get.
You're the
wobbled,
most
but with
boring person.
Jigglypuff.
Actually, your newest video was fucking hilarious. But the moral of the story, or the meat of it, Evosu put out a YouTube video, and he basically said the whole story where he actually sold that person that crab. And
So
that guy
I saw that. And he was like,
I remember when you first told the story. Do you literally mean he had no, I should say he had crabs. So he had crabs that he was literally selling, and there was a stranger that bought it, and then in the event,
there was
in
a
this
lot of
smash
people that bought the
event-
crabs apparently at the event because they were in Maine or something where like crabs was like, very
I'm
much there.
thinking-
So he put
I'm-
a bunch of crabs in the back of his car and he was selling crabs to people to make some money on the side. Whatever. It was he hit a lick. Whatever.
good hustle.
And he told the story on YouTube, and nobody believed him. He was like, "You're fucking making this up. There's no way you sold the crab that got thrown at Hbox." And I went up to him and I was like, "Hey man, Evosu, I'm a big fan. Truly, congrats on your win on Schooled. I have a question for you. Was that crab story real?" And he looks at me, and he looks around. He leans in. It's like, "It was 100% real. I sold that crap."
See, I was
They
so
gave it a
confused by
name.
that story because I
Terrence.
was
When it was going through the
just
air, I was like,
thinking-
"Oh no, Terrence!"
I'm an idiot in this sense. When you first told me that immediately after you had that conversation with him, I'm like, there is no way that he was paid to throw that crab. But I realized that part wasn't included. So crabs
he
were just
wasn't-
being sold as like little merchandise things. But then
Not
that guy went
merchandise,
above
to
and beyond.
eat. To
Excuse
eat
me.
them.
Yeah. But I'm just picturing like this guy goes out of his way. It's like an assassination attempt, and this guy's being paid off to like throw a crab at this guy with harmful intent or anything like that.
No, he just
that makes
was
a lot more
upset.
sense.
He was just upset
makes
that
a lot more
the
sense.
guy won, like Tubal does.
Yeah.
Listen, Hbox is one of the top melee players of all time, indisputably. It's just he is the most boring person to watch.
He's boring, sure, but he plays to
because
win.
his character has an insta-kill move, essentially, and it's just dumb. Like, when you watch... Like, I tell this to Louis all the time. Like, you watch Zane, or who plays Marth. He's, like, the most prolific Marth player, I think, since Mewtwo King. Who's another very top melee player. And then you have like someone that's like Mango or any of the other Falco players. Like when you see them on the screen, their characters just doing stuff the entire time. You have to get them into combos, and like you just see their hands breaking on the controller. Hbox plays with like the weirdest scuffed controller setup I've ever seen in my life, so that he can just constantly be jumping and just kind of turning around.
Look, okay, so me and Joey were talking about this. So it's like it's the difference between somebody that is playing specifically to win and somebody that is playing to have fun and win. So like Mango and a lot of these players are like, I'm going to try to do the craziest shit, the fastest shit, all of the tech that I can possibly do to fucking go crazy and make these clips and win and stuff like that and throw my enemy off. But Mango doesn't do all of that fucking fancy shit. I'm not saying it's not, believe me, I know it's not fun to watch, but he gets results, dude. That's why he's fucking C9. That's why he's one of the best fucking melee players of all time. You can't fucking take that away from him.
Yeah, never would. I would always say Hbox is one of the best. He's like melee god for a reason, because he only loses to people that are also considered a melee god. However, doesn't mean I have to sit there and watch the match and be like, oh look, another rest. It's like watching someone play Isis and be like, oh cool, another wobble where they're just stuck in an infinite grab and die. It's like, boring. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly how I feel about... It's like, oh, Hbox threw him up in the air. I wonder if he'll get a rest up, and it's gone. The stock is over. Then we just move on from there.
I think landing rests is cool.
I do too.
I know you do, because you're also a puff player.
Who doesn't understand the... Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just very risky to just throw your whole movement and all of your abilities away for one high rewarding move.
Right there.
It's pretty cool.
The thing is, you're not throwing it away because it's a guaranteed setup. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Hbox, I don't think, has ever dropped a rest setup if he just throws
you have to
learn
the timing of the moves.
Yeah, and like I said, he's one of the best because he does it all the time. It's just boring to watch because it's just over. Like, you get to 40% and then you die.
You know what's boring to watch? You motherfucker. Fuck you.
Look, okay, I give it to them because the game is so old. And it's hard to come up with new strategies and new techniques with a game that is as old as Melee is.
The craziest thing about Melee is they just keep finding stuff in that game to break it further. It's crazy.
But does it guarantee them first place in everything?
No, of course not. But I'm just saying, like, they just keep finding stuff that just gets more and more insane. Like, it's the game's like, what, 20 years old? How old is it? It's like ancient. But anyone that's still playing a game that
20
old
years old is not ancient.
For a video game that is still followed in the competitive scene,
I am young.
It is.
Yeah.
And fertile.
Well, think about Lawbreakers, Louis. How old's Lawbreakers?
I don't even know what Lawbreakers is, my friend.
That's the most hurtful thing you've ever said to me.
Tuvold wanted Lawbreakers to become a thing so bad.
I know he did. I know he did so bad.
And now look at what Overwatch did.
So fun.
Yo, but look what Hyperscape did to my aim, though.
All right, gold player.
Shut the fuck up.
Overwatch is more than aim.
Exactly. That's why I fucking run circles around you in Valorant.
Run circles around. We're the same rank.
Yeah, because I don't fucking play it.
You just told me that you play it all the
so
time,
goddamn much. And you know what the worst part is, Louis? That
Listen,
you've literally said... I don't know if you're being sarcastic when you say that, but we've gotten into arguments where someone else has been like, yeah, I'm not this rank because I don't play it. And then you and I will both agree on it. It's just like, okay, well then just fucking play it. And then you can talk shit. But
I don't want to play it. It's boring. I hate the fucking game.
The thing is, I've also played Louis in CSGO, which is like his go-to comfort game, right? Like, that's the one game he's played the most hours in, right? And we've had duels before, like 1v1s and just like a headshot arena type thing. And the thing is, I've traded wins with Louis before. Whereas if I took him into Team Fortress 2 and played 1v1 on anything, Louis would be smoked in like a million different ways. Like, that's all I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know. Just saying. You're not that much better than me, dog.
Okay, no. Okay, I've been fucking MGE in when I took fucking CSGO seriously and I was playing for real. There is no way you can last a second in that rank. I was also 9 in FPL, which is fucking nuts. Sorry, not FPL, but Face It.
I don't know what that means, but I was semi-pro in TF2 and I won money. I'm just saying, like,
Me too, baby. Me too.
Yeah, I'm just saying when I've taken like CS:GO seriously, I was very, 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 very good. I knew all the lots on every map. I mean, I still know all of them, but I don't know. The spark was lost to me, and now you're
saying,
right.
Man,
it is very much. Montage. It is very much a comfort game for me. I love that game.
Saying, I got a CS:GO montage. Where's your CS:GO montage?
I don't record shit.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I did, but it was on this platform. I forgot the name of it, but it closed down, and they were like, "Oh, all your clips are gone."
She goes to another school.
She goes to another school.
You wouldn't know my clips. They died on another server.
Literally, dude, it was the saddest thing in the world. I had like 80 clips of me getting like 4 or 5Ks and like flashed ops and like wall bangs and shit like that, and it was just all gone. I genuinely
believe you. Your aim has the reminiscence of someone that has just played CS:GO because
I'm old now, dude. My shit is bad. My positioning is so bad.
I've always wanted to make a montage nowadays, but it's just so difficult because then you have to take the time to actually like grind competitive, play for real, not be recording in-game Discord audio of everybody screwing around, not taking the game seriously and everything. Yeah. You know, because who would watch a frag movie when some people are talking about joking stuff in the background? Like, all you want is the clips. And
I mean, you could do what
like somebody imagine this very intense music, or at least vibey music, while a frag clip is being shown in the background. Except the commentary that's going on behind it is somebody talking about dodging the IRS or something like that. And then the next clip, and it's another commentary of dialogue and all that. And that's every single clip in a frag movie. No, I can never put out something like that.
That would be the best frag movie ever. It's just like someone getting a sick air shot on someone, but and you just hear like, I can't believe the IRS found my stash.
But that's assuming that you get every single second of context that is used in the conversations that's happening in the background of the gameplay.
I mean, you could do, do you have an NVIDIA graphics card?
Yeah.
Yeah,
3080.
Yeah, you could probably have what's it called, like the GeForce Experience thing, where you could just like click the buttons and it'll automatically record the last like minute. You can put
is it the gameplay or is it all computer audio? I've never actually looked into it.
I'm pretty sure it's just the gameplay. You can set it up either way if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've done it.
So on my stream, I do like if I'm on enough early enough and nobody's like awake. You guys kind of wake up late sometimes. I'll like just play Valorant sometimes. And I think through some of the plays, my old skill kind of comes out, and then sometimes it's just me being derpy, obviously. But, like, I don't know if I want to take the time to be, like... Because it takes a lot of time to, like, grind and like, be high level. And then I wouldn't even be able to play with you guys competitively if I was that, which sucks. I like being able to play with you guys. But, like, I really do think that if I were to grind Valorant as, like, hard as I should and learn all the lineups and learn, like, everything, I could hopefully maybe be, like, top diamond, maybe immortal. But it's just, like, I don't know. Like, it's just so much time. It's so much time. And my chat, like, they like it. But, like, the numbers don't even compare to, like, when I'm doing just chatting. You know, like when I'm watching YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? Because I what I love about streaming is like my chat joining in on me, you know, and doing shit.
I mean,
interacting with chat is like half the fun. Yeah,
I completely agree. I hate while I'm Twitch streaming and being like asking people to use chat when they clearly don't want to or something like that. So what I do is that I literally close my Twitch screen for maybe like 2 minutes if I don't see chat being active and it's like getting to me. I don't say anything because again I feel bad. I think it's one thing to feel uncomfortable from your chat being inactive. I think it's another thing to kind of like beg for something when clearly nobody wants to do it from your chat. So I just I close it or I minimize the screen for maybe like 2-3 minutes.
I try my hardest to get like to have things streaming. To like entice them to use emotes because I have 7TV, BTTV, FFZ, like all these add-ons to just keep adding on emotes and whatnot. And like I have an emote for every emotion. I'm pretty sure. Like anything that happens, I have an emote for it. And I would love the fact that people use them and go out of their way to like throw them around or whatever. I don't know how to cultivate more of people that are like want to be active in Twitch chat and whatnot. But it's always fun to watch them like use them because I'm just like, oh, finally, this isn't a waste of time to cultivate all these emotes and whatnot. And like in order to get them to use at least the emotes that like I think are the most fun, I'll have like special screens that I'll put up that have like music to just like jam to or whatever, and like it'll just fill the chat up like that. And like chants, I wish those would come back to death. Because I think half the time people are just not willing to look through the emotes to like find something. But if a chant comes up and they see a bunch of people just spamming it, they could just click the join in chant button and then like they're instantly in there. And like they already have the full thing, don't have to go through the effort, and they're like, oh, I'm interacting with stuff.
It's
and I think
Twitch
a great way to
brain
like
rot, man. People's attention spans nowadays.
You know what's funny?
I think it's Twitch brain rot.
It's funny. It's like I think I've you know, I haven't garnered like a crazy Twitch chat like, you know, Phish or, you know, Twobold, but the chatters that I do have, like, you know, Mars, Morden, you know, Blish, Pyro, and all of these.
I was about to say, don't mention Blish and Pyro and watch them.
I have to. They're gonna ask. They're gonna be in the comment section, literally under this, and be like, "Hey, where's my money?" And but I really do believe that, like, yes, they were Twitch chatters before, but like I have helped them like become really dope Twitch chatters. And they truly make my chat really awesome. Like when my chat is active, they do things that help the chat also be active. And I think that's a big important, like, training your chat or training certain people to go along and react to what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing. You know, so sometimes like I'll be playing Overwatch and obviously I'll have like the Phish and, you know, the runoff and everybody, like, you know, I'll get like 100 to 120 viewers of people watching me play Overwatch, but then I'll play like Mario 64 and then I'll have like 30 to 40 viewers, but 10 of them or 15 of them will be so active in my chat that whenever I hit the reset, they do this weird reset emote and like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, they know what I'm doing, even though they've never even seen like Super Mario speedruns. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that garnering that sort of community is so much fun to me. And I just hope I'm able to grow it, you know? That's a big thing for me.
That was something that
for those of you out there that are like active in chat, we do see you. Like, we know your names. We're not like 10,000 viewer people where, you know, you're just part of the mass of emotes that come across the screen. We recognize you. And if 100%. We didn't say your name like now, we know who you are.
And not to be parasocial or anything, we are just very glad and happy to have you. Yeah. You know, happy to have you, you know, enjoy what we do along with us, you know?
Pulling that actually back to what I was talking about, the probably the best weekend that I consider that I've had since I moved here to LA. I briefly talked about Super Mario 64 with the one of the guys that I met when I was hanging out with people. Was that Saturday night? Saturday night was, again, Louis invited to, but didn't feel like going. The first event that we went to was a public rave, and this is where I met that guy where we briefly talked about Super Mario 64. Now, I had no idea what I was going to when I heard public rave. I was just like, I haven't been to a rave here in LA like ever. This is my first one. And it was free entry, and the reason for that was because it was in some back field area where they were just like at the loudest volume speakers that people clearly had just brought there. There was no official entry or ticket payment or anything like that. There was a train station right next to the area that they were doing it out in this public place. And they were just...
Was it like that meme of the goth kids, like...
That's what I was thinking the whole time. And I was talking about it. I was just like, you know, I'm totally fine with doing something so different, you know, as opposed to going to a bar or a club or something like that. Like, clearly this is a different crowd of people. But I was just disappointed by the fact that I was new there. I was clearly an outsider when we showed up. Nobody else was like getting into the music or dancing or anything like that. And I was like, what's up with that? Everybody's just sitting here vibing to this rave music. They had everything that matched that description of that meme that you're thinking of, though, which is, you know, the people under the bridge just doing that, like, I don't even know what that dance move is, but that type of music. It was a great experience, but I was just like, Man, I wish this matched that description more.
Be the pressure.
Another example. I saw this girl who had this lightsaber Star Wars type light sword thing, and I was like, "What can you do with that?" And then she showed me one trick, and I was like, "That's dope." Except it was a very simple one. And then she's like, "Yeah, that's it." And I was like, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then I walked away, and I kept seeing if she was gonna do.
Sad.
I kept waiting for when she was gonna start. You're gonna do some shit like that.
She just
with her
kept
arms and all
doing
that.
the one thing.
No, it's not even that. She was just holding it still. She wasn't doing anything. That's why I went up to her and I was expecting a whole light show, but no, she didn't do anything. Yeah. And she was tough.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, like, I would love a Twitch chat that is just my 10 chatters that are awesome. I would love it, like, multiplied, by a little bit. I think I have to, upload videos and shit like that and do more shit, but it's so disheartening, man. It really is sometimes. It sucks.
I think I'm
Part of the
focusing.
grind, unfortunately.
I mean, I got all of my Twitch chat from YouTube, so like this month I want to just 100% focus on YouTube.
Yeah.
And see if I can build that up again.
Can we talk about how hard it is to find any live channels on YouTube, by the way, for their streaming service? I think it's the most difficult thing on the planet to find where people are streaming. It is hard, man. I cannot find it to save my life. Like every time I look for, like I click on the live tab, and I'll look for like a game, and they'll have like 2,000 people. That'll be like 2,000 people.
You should do a stream where you try to find YouTube live.
Dude, like every single one I find, like 90% of them were like music channels that just said live, and it was just a stream of like lo-fi hip hop stuff, and I was like, what is going on?
I might do that. I might make like 30 or 40 like music box lullabies and just make it a live channel and say like sleep to this 24-hour live thing and just have it running and see how much money I can make.
It's worth a shot, honestly.
Yeah,
Can you imagine how rich lo-fi hip hop girl
That's
must
what I'm
be?
saying.
Like,
what if I do that? I mean, I'm sure
She
even with like
released a video. I didn't realize how popular it was. She just released a casual video that said, "Thank you for 10 million subscribers." I'm like, okay, I get that it's big, but that many subscribers? I had no idea. 10 million?
I don't even know if there's ads on that thing. I genuinely don't even know.
No, they got
to for April Fools, though, apparently they switched the cat and the girl around, so the cat was the one studying and the girl was on the window. So I thought it was pretty fun.
It is funny.
Man, I used to listen to that all the time when I was studying for my like IT certifications. So I would just have that on in the background while I was at school.
It's just the whole
So,
idea. I mean, it's all about the layout and the subscriptions, because I know that for a fact I've been subscribed to a YouTube channel that definitely consistently goes live, and they go live a lot of the time, and only every now and then will I notice that little thumbnail that's in the top left of their screen that is the only indicator that they are live, because that's all that it is. If you look at YouTube on a channel of somebody who live streams, their live stream, I guess, button or whatever you want to call it, it looks exactly like a normal YouTube video on their page.
I'm surprised there's not like a little pop-up that you can like X out of, like on a video or whatever, to just click when they're live and whatnot.
It'd be nice to like have a little tab that kind of changes the whole YouTube layout into these are the channels that are live that you're subscribed to. Click on like if there was like a little like live switch.
They do that for not Instagram. They're not called Reels, but they have that for the TikTok equivalent of YouTube. I forget what the name of it is. It Stories?
No, Shorts.
Shorts, yeah. They have a whole Shorts tab. They should just do that with YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. YouTube, listen to us. Clearly they are listening to me, because they made it 7 minutes into my video before they were my vlog video, and that's when they discovered that it was unsafe content.
Wait, did they unmonetize your vlog?
Yeah, they unmonetized my vlog, and luckily they have the YouTube editor, so I removed it. But yes, it is a clip.
But what happened?
So, it's weird because they tell me the timestamp in the email, but they don't tell me the timestamp in the YouTube notification that says, hey, by the way, we have limited ads on your videos and it's for 18 plus only. Yeah, the clip that got me in trouble for my vlog was when I stuck my hand in the fire and then quickly pulled it out and then somebody else pulled their hand in the fire. Oh my God. I mean, it kind of makes sense because, that's not the smartest of things to do. That's pretty unsafe. So I removed that from the video. But, I mean, going into it, only using YouTube alone, no, I thought it was literally the ninja star at the beginning of the video, which is clearly foam that was being thrown at somebody's hand. But it's a foam ninja star, so.
Have you ever entered into an argument that you backed out immediately because you knew you weren't going to win?
I had a friend in college that he was a programmer, and the way his mind worked is that he worked through the entirety of an argument before he got into the argument. And, here's an example, right? He came into my room one day, and he was just like, hey, do you think that the banana is the best fruit? And I said, I think that's incredibly suggestive. And he just then listed all the things bananas can turn into. And then he walked over to the kitchen and said, now taste this banana bread and tell me it's not the best banana bread you've ever had. And I was just like, I was trying to get into an argument about how grapes were great, right? But he's just like, no, but have this banana bread. Has a grape ever been better than this banana bread? And I'm like, this is really good banana
Grapes
bread.
can get you drunk. Bananas can't.
Wine.
Well, actually, no, bananas can get you drunk.
The thing was, he made such good banana bread that I just gave up trying to argue with him because he would just be like, but the banana bread is better than a grape, right? I'm just like, yes, but it's like, there's a million things that went in it, but the banana is the core of the bread.
And
I'm just
like,
banana and sugar.
He clearly entered into an argument with you knowing that he had support and evidence to back it up.
Yeah, like I said, he knew the outcome before the argument even started.
I think
and he got
unfair.
to the point where whenever he would come over to me and he would ask me a question, I'm like, do you want to hear my opinion or you just want to be right about something? And he's just like, I would like to be right about this. But what was your opinion would have been before I become right about this? And I'm just let's see what it's like. So, and the man is reasonably a genius. When he left college, he was making six figures right out the gate.
Oh, nice.
He was crazy.
So for me, living in LA, you meet a lot of vegans, right?
Of course.
And I was talking to a vegan, and she was like, "Oh, I don't drink dairy." I was like, "Okay, I guess it makes sense from a vegan standpoint," but I was like, "They're not killing the animals." And then she was like, "Oh, well, they're doing much worse." And I was like, But doesn't milking them help the animal, the cow, not explode? Obviously, I'm completely wrong about this. And then she goes to me and she stops everything. Everybody kind of stops and stares. And she looks and she says, "Do you really want to get into this?" And then I said, "No." And that's where the conversation ended.
Oh, shit.
Do you really want to get into this? No, I truly don't care.
I really don't want to get into this.
Have you ever got into an argument just completely unprepared, but being like, I'm going to win this with my no facts at all whatsoever?
Yes, our Pluto argument. I know for a fact none of us had facts about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Sometimes arguments
those are my
based
favorite
off
arguments.
I will go as deep as I can until I'm waiting for that one slip-up, that one contradiction, and then you can just roll on that until the end.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have the confidence to be able to do that, yeah.
The most fun arguments ever is between friends when neither of you has any idea what you're talking about, and it's just heart. It's all heart and feeling.
Passion
and
heart,
that is the core of my Italian heritage. The amount of arguments my family would get into over dinner is astronomical. There are so many arguments that just have no backing behind them at all. And my dad is notorious for having an opinion about every single subject, and I'll just be like, "Yeah, Dad, I had a real good week on Twitch today," and he's like, "Well, you know why you had a good week?" And I'm just like, "I can't imagine why I had a good week. What do you think it is?" And he's like, "Well, they just started voting in a whole bunch of new budget things, and people are just getting a surplus of money." I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about?"
No, Dad, I did a subathon. Do you know what that is?
And he was like, well, I've had a Subway
Oh
sandwich.
yeah, subathons were created by the commies.
You just start laughing. He does the most dad jokes of any dad I've ever met in my life. And he has a laugh that makes you laugh with him, not at the joke, but at him laughing at his stupid joke. And I think that's his best superpower, like by far. No one doesn't know my dad and doesn't know that he makes terrible jokes, but you laugh at them every single time.
Twobold, you did the biggest bait with your post that you posted on both Instagram and Twitter, where context, Twobold's dad said that he would never be able to make money.
It's a promise.
No, but okay. See, the thing is, this is a promise that was made months ago.
I thought that was a video of him eating the shoe.
Yes, exactly. Okay, context, yes.
Because he ate something.
Twobold and his dad made an agreement that if Twobold could make money off of video games, then his dad will eat a shoe. And this has been a thing for a while. Twobold's been making money off of video games for a while, streaming and all that, and this kind of relatable. And then he puts out a post of him and his dad. Like, this is the first time, I'm pretty sure this is the first time that the internet is being exposed to Twobold's father on camera. And then I'm thinking, like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is the post. Like, finally, this was made months ago. But no, it's just him saying, like, here's my dad. He's going to eat the shoe eventually. And then he eats something.
Because I wanted people to see my dad, so they didn't think it was just some, I don't know.
Well, nobody questioned that your dad wasn't there or anything.
Forgotten. And I just wanted to prove to people that my dad made the promise, and it will happen, because it's going to be the greatest moment of my life. Like, you guys are waiting. I've been waiting since I was 17, so you can all shut up. I'm still waiting for him to buy that damn shoe and eat it. Like, it's going to happen.
When is he going to buy the shoe? This is one of those things where you say that, oh, we should totally see each other again, and then that plan never goes down because he didn't make specific plans for it.
No, because I told my dad at the restaurant, I'm like, Dad, this is going to happen, like, before I leave for wherever I'm moving to. I want you to understand that. And he was just like, okay. I'm going to take a video of this as a promise, so that way there's no way you ever get out of this. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And that's why I made that crappy video, and I'm like, it's coming soon, and it will. I'm gonna get the shoe.
What is soon for you?
As soon as I get the shoe, man.
Speaking of soon, my dad is coming out to LA in like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Fish, can you convince your dad to come out to LA in about the same time? And Twobold, obviously you live right next to your dad, so you're fine. But Fish, can you do that?
Oh, the dad cast? Is that what we're doing?
I want to do the dad cast so bad.
I promise a lot.
So fucking bad. I want to do that so bad. I think that would be so funny.
Yeah, I could definitely try and set that up.
My dad says that he has listened to the podcast before, and so
what
does
does he
my mom.
think?
Well, my dad, he didn't really give me much of a review, but he just said that it's his way of, I guess, seeing me now that I'm across the country. And my mom, it's weird because, like, I tell both my mom and my dad this. I'm just like, guys, I have a YouTube channel. I guess it doesn't show my face all the time, but it's kind of the equivalent of showing myself. But no, ever since we opened up the podcast, and my mom, my dad have been very aware of the YouTube channel. Not that I'm begging them for that extra view or anything. But it's just weird hearing. Maybe it's because I moved and the podcast just started when we moved. Like, yeah, I never heard of my mom or my dad watching any of my videos, but they watch the podcast.
My parents watch some of my YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Also, Twobold, Nate wants to do the podcast, right? But he'll only do it if you come down and we do it live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we went over this.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
I'm down. Yeah, anytime, man.
Do you want us to fly you down, or are you going to fly down on your own accord?
I mean, I'm not going to ask you guys to fly me down to L.A. I'll have to scrounge up some funds for it, because currently I've used up all my travel money on Jenna's friggin' wedding. Oh, my God. Man.
I still have to pay for all that shit.
Between Jenna and Dan, I have, like, all of my allotted budget has been going towards these weddings to see everybody. Which, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's, like, the best way to use it anyway. But, like,
I really have to fucking pee. So yeah,
you go pee. Let's go for.
Are you guys going to talk about me while I'm gone?
We would never.
Yep. Don't lie to him.
All right,
better not.
All right, we will. We will talk about you while you're gone.
His shirt says, education is important, but Fortnite is importanter.
Yes.
You know that?
It makes me think
I
about
feel like-
fashion and all that. Do you think you're good at fashion?
Oh God, no! I have the worst fashion sense of any human being I've ever met.
Do you
Although I
want
didn't
to,
buy
do
new
you want it
shoes.
to be something that you're good at?
I would love to look good. You kidding me? It's just I have like no patience for trying on clothes at all. Like I haven't been clothes shopping in years,
My
and all
whole
the clothes
thing-
shopping that I do get is like very bland colors.
My whole thing is that it's such a dumb, I guess, fear is that there's people that don't have fashion. There's people that do. And the people that do have fashion, I would want to go shopping with them. There's no way you peed that quickly. Wait, is that what you...
How did you do that?
There's no way. Did you just use the bathroom that quickly?
There's no way you just.
Two
I
people
just
that
had to
probably got-
pee.
No way, dude.
how fast
We
did
got
you
2
piss?
sentences out before you came back.
I had to
You kidding me?
pee. That's it.
You clearly didn't have to pee that bad if that's how quickly
I
you went to the
peed. I pushed it
bathroom,
out.
peed, and came back.
I'm a heavy streamer.
Dude,
I'm a
that's the
heavy
heaviest
stream.
stream. Oh my goodness.
Jesus, it must sound like a bucket being
It
poured out.
does.
Dude, that took like a second.
I go.
Wow.
I didn't want to miss anything.
People
Just
that did
imagine
not
a
get
bucket
any
of water
thoughts
being
out.
dumped out. That's
What were you guys
essentially
talking
how
about?
fast
We're
Louis
talking about
pees.
fashion.
Yeah.
And you left out the
got-
most fashionable person.
Exactly.
Well, that's how we started this. I said, did you see Louis' shirt? It says education is important, but Fortnite is important.
And then I was saying one of the reasons is that, okay, so there are people that have fashion, there are people that don't. The people that have fashion, I don't want to go shopping with them because they already have all the fashion that they need and all that. And then the people
But
that
they
don't,
help you with your fashion.
But then it's like make them go out of their way for that. Like only if they have fun going shopping and all
You
that.
don't think
But
fashionable people have fun making fashion for other people?
Well, clearly,
that's the one thing they find
Clearly,
fun.
I don't know a lot of fashionable people because it's not every day that I hear a lot of people being like, "Let's go shopping today." I never hear that. from
Literally
people in general.
every time fashion comes up with Ray or Joey or anybody that we know that is super fashionable,
Yeah,
it's like,
but
I want to
then-
fashion you.
but
They're
then-
like fucking
but then
rabid
it's
dogs.
the same thing that I was going back
They're
to.
like rabid
No.
dogs. They're like,
Yeah. It's literally the same old shit that I was talking about before. That it's never gonna happen because the specific plans are not made in that sense, and I don't do it because I'm afraid of that.
If you made a plan with Joey and said, hey, Joey, let's make a fashion for me, he would be like, he would come down to my room and be like, I'm doing this. And then he would leave without telling me what he's doing. And then he would go and make a fashion for you.
And then 30 minutes later, I would be in the room just dripped out. be
And
like, "What
Fish
you
would
guys
no
do?"
longer be wearing flannel jackets and T-shirts. And he would... That's Fish's fashion right now. Just so no people.
Fish, you wear
It's
flannels
not
now?
only flannels.
He
okay?
wears
It
a
is
flannel
also a hoodie.
fucking... Yes.
I respect
He could have much better fashion.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I see other people wearing
You
just
guys know I have
layers.
2
What other
pairs of
layers go
yeah,
over
but it's the
go over a
specific
t-shirt?
layers.
I have
How
2
many
pairs of
shirts- wait.
jeans to my name.
How many
Okay.
what? I can't believe
2
Louis
pairs
is telling me about fucking fashion.
Actually,
listen
3
to me.
technically.
Listen to me. I don't have a fashion, and I will say this forever, but I can appreciate good fashion. Fish, how many
yeah,
shirts
I can
do you
fucking appreciate
listen to me.
good fashion too.
How many shirts do you own that have a square image?
A square image?
Just a rectangular
square.
image on the shirt.
Yeah.
Not that many. Why?
You're a bullshit liar.
No, I don't. This is
All right, don't be
legit.
scared. Don't be scared.
That's just a
Look
legit
down.
question.
Look
Probably
down.
Like 4.
Look down.
Oh wow! Okay, you're gonna look at the one. Yo, you took that one example because of what I'm fucking wearing now. That to define my whole fashion. Yeah, okay. Louis, how many shirts do you have that have text on them?
One.
Same. Yeah, okay. Same fucking
because you
argument.
can't
You
read
kidding
what
me?
you
I have a
says it
shirt.
doesn't
I have
have
a shirt
text
that
on
is
it.
only text, over and the back, and it's all the. Is this an MRRL speed run time? It's the whole video
Oh, yeah,
scripted, And I get the most comments on that shit because nobody has shirts like that.
That is still the greatest shirt I've ever heard of someone ever owning ever.
I made it
That is
myself,
such
and then
an
I played
iconic
Apex with him.
video,
I
man.
played Apex with Ryan Lockwood, or whatever his name is.
Yeah. That's nuts, man.
The shirt
Follow
that I've
me.
gotten the most comments on is actually the Smile Rat shirt, which is something that our friend.
Oh, it's a
Huff made.
great shirt.
It's literally, for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, is a black T-shirt with a yellow box on it in like Arial font in black text. It's
Smile
just
rat.
colon close parentheses, which is a smile on it, and then on the back also made in text art. It's a little yellow rat on the back of the black shirt. And I've gotten so many comments on that one specific shirt, even though it's such a simple design.
Yeah, Smile Rat is iconic to Puff.
Yeah. I bought Phish a shirt recently, and it was very nice. Unless you don't like it, and you're going to tell me.
I do like it. You're
a fucking asshole.
Actually, I was talking about it has the I think it's called the Great Wave. It's a very famous Japanese piece of art. And I have Louis said that's just my aesthetic. And yes, I have the Great Wave as a tapestry in my living room. It was given to me as a gift from my PO box. I also have a Great Wave Godzilla t-shirt, and now I have this Great Wave cat shirt.
It's like a cat Godzilla. It's like a big cat. It's really good shirt. It's really nice.
Even though it's my aesthetic, I'm just saying, like, every single one of these Great Wave art pieces of art that have been given to me, I didn't buy them myself. Like, I didn't design this aesthetic for me. Other people just gave it to me.
I just think, Phish, I want you to go shopping with Ray. Just go shopping with Ray or Joey and just see what happens. Like, step outside your comfort zone for a sec. Like, I could imagine you in some, like, dress shoes, maybe, like, some khaki pants, and maybe, like, a nice, like, button-up shirt could be really sick. Or maybe, like, full golf wear, like, maybe some short khakis with, like, some, what are those, like, sailor shoes, Tubold? What are they called?
Boat shoes?
Boat shoes, right? There's, like, but you know the type of shoe I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I think, and maybe, like, a white, like, a polo shirt would look nice as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
trying to dress him up as the guy that needs to do it to him. Like, that's what you're
trying
to dress him up.
In the middle of the street, I had to do it to him.
I'm just saying, you can look good in like some weird, like, I don't know, preppy shit.
Dockers?
What's the shoe called, dude?
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
It starts with an S, maybe.
Sperry's.
Yes. I actually have never liked Sperry's. I grew up with a bunch of friends that like Sperry's. They said they need a pair of boating shoes. I was just like, I would never.
I had to get new shoes because the $10 shoes that I got at Walmart to get me through the winter when I wanted to just go outside and like completely move my trash can around in the muck and mud of dog shit New England. Are finally blown themselves apart, which I expected. They held out longer than I thought, honestly. But I got some new Vans from DSW. Since I asked Jenna, I was like, Jenna, where do I go to get shoes in your female opinion? Because, Jenna had strong opinions about where I should get shoes. And she's like, go to DSW. You have to go to DSW. They have the best shoes. I'm like, all right, I'll get some Nikes there. Not a single Nike. Not one Nike in DSW.
Well, DSW is the brand.
No, like there was a million different brands of shoes in there.
DSW
like they had
warehouse or something like that.
Yeah, there's like a warehouse just filled with shoes, and like they had every brand that wasn't Nike. There was one Nike shoe in the women's section. It was like a size 4. I was like, why is there only one Nike in this store?
Like, I have very good shoes. You should have asked me too. I have some very good like shoe. Well, one good
like
shoe.
The thing is, I have like a bunch of nice shoes.
And I got Phish to buy it too because they're fire. They're fire shoes. I also bought my manager. James,
we need to
some
address
Dolce
that.
and Gabbana
we need to
shoes.
address that. Okay.
What? Do you not like the shoes?
No. I love the shoes, but Louis takes all the credit in the sense that he recommended
They're
me
my
a brand.
shoes, bro.
He recommended me a brand, and I took that brand, and without his consultation or anything whatsoever, I bought a specific design from that brand.
Design I
made. And then Louis goes up to people, and he's just like, "Do you like his shoes?" I picked those out for him. And I'm just like, "You had nothing to do with choosing this for me. You told me to look at Lakai, and I looked at Lakai. I found this own design on my own, and I picked it, not you." And I have to explain that every time.
Yeah, I found some nice black and white Vans, and I was like, this would be perfect for lifting since they don't have much like sole in the bottom, so it's good for your feet and form when you're lifting. But they're not good running shoes. Like I can do like
no, you can't run in skate shoes.
Yeah, Vans are not good for that. However, Converse and Vans are very good for when you're lifting because they have no sole in the bottom. So it's just you get a lot more power out of them. So
I was literally about to say that. Yeah, it's Converse that you lift with, but it just looks so strange with the whole gym aesthetic.
It is weird. It is a weird thing to
like shirtless or non-sleeve t-shirts, and then basketball shorts, and then Converse at the bottom. It just doesn't look right. But I know it works.
It's a weird aesthetic, man.
Okay, speaking of like specific like jobs, like like lifters or construction workers or shit like that, have you ever stumbled upon TikTok or like YouTube short videos that are specific for like a specific job? Like I stumbled upon this guy
Power washers.
that was talking about an L nut and like an L nut remover. And he was like, this L nut remover doesn't work. Just use a stapler or something like that. And I was like, this content is not for me. Why am I? I've never even seen an L nut. I don't know what it does.
My favorite TikToks that I've
went
ever
through
seen
all
are
of his
about stuff like
TikTok.
that.
This is my favorite channel. I love this fucking guy.
My favorite channels are for like car parts. I know nothing about cars. Like I'll tell you straight up, if a mechanic told me I need to replace the entire right side of my car and never specified why, I'd be like, okay, that probably has to happen. Like I don't know anything about cars, but like there's this one TikTok that I saw where like some dude is taking like this giant like shock, like one of those giant like spirally metal springs, like the shocks to a car, and he like compresses it down, and some guy is just like looking at this guy doing this, and he's just like, okay, yeah, makes sense so far. And he's like, but you don't need to get and then we just put this piece on. He's like, he goes really close to the camera and just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what's going on? Why is this wrong? And like the guy just like takes it and he like removes it from like this compressor part. He's like, you're insane. What are you doing? And I'm just like, what are you getting so amped up about? And it's like, and then you're probably wondering how we remove it from like when we put it onto the next spring thing. Well, then we get the hammer and then the guy just goes, ah, and then the video just cuts out. And I'm like, but why did that happen? And then I went for the like, next 30 minutes looking through TikTok to try and figure out what the hell I just saw, why this guy was so mad. And apparently what happens is if you take a shock and you press it down super far in the compressor, you're supposed to get a spring compressor to move it and then put it on the thing you're trying to put it on, right? Okay. But if you don't do that and you take a hammer to like this little piece of metal that was keeping it compressed instead of like the actual tool for it, apparently what you have in your hand is the equivalent of a hand grenade. Because it will come apart so fast, it will obliterate whatever is holding it down if it's not strength required. Like it doesn't meet the strength requirement, it will just shatter it. And like there's a video of a guy that does it, and it basically just explodes. And it was the craziest thing ever. And this guy was just holding it in his hand, like right near his face. And then he just kind of moves it and then he placed it on a thing. He's like, and then we get the hammer. And then the video just cuts out. And I was like, oh, I understand it now. I have learned a thing.
So this guy freaking out was concerned for the guy's health as he was watching in disbelief.
I just thought he was like doing a really poor technique of something. It turns out, no, he was just risking his life.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. How do you guys feel knowing that for most of those videos where somebody is just blind reacting, that they've clearly seen the whole video, and that's why they're choosing to react to it?
Well, that's always the case.
If it's funny,
isn't
I
it?
don't care. Yeah,
No,
if it's funny,
I
I don't
think
care.
okay. So there's a difference between the like live
At least
stream
for
reacting where
TikTok.
you're
No,
watching
for
the-
TikTok, at least it's like that's a fake reaction. Obviously, it has to be.
But oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, it's kind of sucks. It's not genuine.
Well, that's why people like Twitch, no? Right? Like it's getting like people that you enjoy getting their live reaction on stuff like that.
Well, the thing with Twitch and TikTok is that TikTok is like millions of times bigger than Twitch.
Yeah, but like they're setting up their videos like to be videos exactly how they want it. So like it's different from Twitch's appeal of being live.
The dude that I fell down his like TikTok rabbit hole was this like construction worker dude. And you know that I don't know if you've ever seen those like table saw videos. Have you ever seen those table saws that they put a little hot dog and then the table saw will stop immediately? Mm-hmm. And so it's like a video of doing like that and then it stops. And then it cuts to this dude in a fucking truck is like, yeah, that doesn't prove to me anything. I don't even use a table saw, but if you put your finger in there and showed me that, you put your weenie in there and showed me that, I'd fucking buy one right now. I don't even use one. It's like, show me your wiener in that thing, and then I'll buy one. Like, will it stop? It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then I fell into like this huge construction worker TikTok thing. And it's just like, man, TikTok and content is a crazy fucking place for like specific niches.
Have
I
you guys
think
ever?
the best videos on all TikTok are power washing videos. You can watch those for hours. Just
yeah.
so long as they're silent.
I like
they can't be
power
talking
washing
at all, and they just go.
Have you ever seen a pool being made? Like a time
Yes.
lapse of a pool being made? Oh.
Yes, it's insane. And you know that power wash videos are a great thing, I guess, to have as background stuff. That sometimes people will increase the algorithm of their story time because the video that they use over the audio of them just telling a story that's completely unrelated is power wash videos. So something about
They're
it.
satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, it's
satisfying.
not the whole idea of power wash that kind of falls into the category of something being rebuilt as something that is super dirty and then being remade. Like I know a thing that gets
Or
a
like
lot of
the
views.
Cold Stone worker.
Yeah. Wait.
You know what I'm talking about?
What do you?
The guy that he tells stories about like the craziest Cold Stone ice creams he's been asked to make. But
I've
he's
heard
not
of that,
even
but,
making
like Subway.
Subway. I'm assuming it's a similar like TikTok. It's just
I
like
think so.
a head cam of like somebody doing something,
Yeah. Exactly.
but they're not
I
even
think my
making the
favorite is
specific
just, like,
sandwich from or like the ice cream from the story. They're just
Yeah.
Doing
they're just
whatever.
retelling it. And it's something in the background.
There was one where some dude just walked into a Cold Stone Creamery and he's just like, sometimes if you just pretend that you're an employee and say hello and the right things, you can just do whatever you want. And he goes over to like the soft serve machine, just puts a glob of ice cream in his hand and just walks out. Like he says, hello, hey, I'm new here. He just walks out.
Confidence can get you a lot of places.
very far.
This guy walks.
But I just don't think, how do you stop a man that does that? Like, what do you do? You're like, sir, you can, what the hell? There's one, I think the best form of confidence videos, like quote unquote confidence videos, is like seeing where we can go holding a ladder. Because if you're holding a ladder, no one tries to stop you. They just assume you're a worker there. And some people just walked into a whole bunch of like really high profile like events or whatever. Like all they had on was just like a black cap and like nondescript clothes, and they just carried a ladder just straight through the entrance. And that was it. And like no one even looked twice.
They
Like,
repair
that is-
something.
Have you seen the two guys holding a banner? And the banner says two guys holding a banner.
No.
I feel like that's something you and your brother would do. Like,
Oh, 100%. We used to go to Wolfpack games, which is a ice hockey team, and we would try to get on the Jumbotron. Every time Cotton Eye Joe would come on, we had our own dance for it. And they would, every single time, they would come over to me and my brother doing our dance for Cotton Eye Joe. That was a lot of fun. And it was a really bad dance. Like I would show it, but it's 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Excuse me. Sorry, neighbors. But it's like we would just put our hands down between our legs and like put our legs out to the side and like kick them back and forth and like like and we would be on the Jumbotron every single time, along with this dude named Larry. Love Larry. Shout out to Larry. He was at every single game, every single one, and never not saw Larry.
That's awesome.
He's just a guy. Like the best way to describe Larry, he's just a guy.
Nice.
Sometimes you just got to be a guy, man.
You just gotta be the right guy in the right place. Like, hey, Larry.
Yeah, like Percy Jackson.
And the lightning.
How do you describe Percy Jackson?
He's
I
a
remember
lightning
we brought that
thief.
up earlier. Yeah, but you know, like as a person, he's just a guy.
Oh, right. You try to do an impression of Percy Jackson. You can't. He's just a guy.
Of Percy Jackson.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
I have fucked Alexandria
I really wish
Daddario.
my father was in my early life.
That's her name, Alexandria Daddario.
I fucked Alexandria Daddario. Right?
Like, you
Great
can't do an
impression.
impression of a character from a book because there's no mind like impression like already made.
I mean, you can
It's like do an impression of
do an impression of Naruto.
yeah, like I mean you could do that though because Naruto's like Databayo believe it and then like I want to fuck Sasuke and like you're like oh, that's Naruto. Yeah, like it's you get that. Or like or like
You can
any
do-
character from a media of some sort that like has a character to him, right? But if it's from a book, you can't just be like be Atticus Finch. Oh Jesus! I don't
Can you be
really know,
Odysseus?
man. I guess I'll just not be racist.
Can you be
And then,
Odysseus?
boom, you're Atticus
Yeah,
Finch.
can you be Odysseus?
Odysseus?
Yes.
No.
I've killed mermaids and a
that happen?
one-eyed cyclops.
Oh,
I'm just telling
nobody,
a
yeah.
story, right? Okay.
Yeah. I remember.
I get what you're saying.
Odysseus is just a guy. Like you can't do an impression of just a guy.
I mean, well, what's telling what's a film adaptation? Obviously, they're telling a story and giving that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, the film adaptation doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have enough to go on for an impression, right? Like an impression is like of something that's notable.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah, like Harry Potter though, like he's a very well developed character that you the quirks to him before. He's like, Jacobin and Alley, and then he just
saying
about the wrong place.
Patronum!
Are you saying you're a J.K. Rowling enjoyer?
Dude,
you can say that you like the story because there's the whole idea that the cast has even been out flat out. We don't support J.K. Rowling, but
Tubal
we are
doesn't
very
support
appreciative of the fans.
Whatever she doesn't support.
Yeah, I hate J.K. Rowling. Like I always thought it was weird. Like even reading the books growing up, I'm like, that's a really weird name for a Chinese girl. Like what was it? It was like some really racist name. Yeah, Cho Chang. I was like, that's really on the nose, isn't it? Like even then, I was like, that seems a little.
It's almost like South Park. They could have fucking named a black character Token. It's really bad. Like,
yeah, the token black character on South Park. His name's Token. Easy. And then
you know what his last name is?
No.
Black.
What is it?
Token Black.
Token Black.
Oh my god. I didn't know that part. I've seen a lot of South Park. I didn't think about that.
I don't know too much about Token as a character because I really haven't watched too much South Park. But I remember one episode where they're starting a band and they're like, well, we need a bassist, and Cartman's like,
look in your garage.
Token.
He's like, I don't have a bass. Check your
garage.
All right,
Cartman, I'm really sick and tired of your racism. Just play the bass, Token. God damn it.
God damn it.
Like it's just like some things are just really on the nose, and you're like, let's just say when all that stuff about J.K. Rowling came out, I was just like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, I'm ordering
I understand now.
All right, yeah, Louis has to go, so.
But we can keep talking for a little bit.
Anyway, I think this is the end of the podcast, I assume, right? We've been here for like an hour and a half. This is probably our longest podcast ever.
I think so. No, our Zilbrad podcast went longer. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Phish Tank podcast. We appreciate your weekly support, and we will continue.
And can we get We Hate Tubal in the comments?
Please don't put We Hate Tubal.
Let's
in
put
the
a
comments.
We Hate Louis in the comments.
No, why?
Tubal, your turn.
Put hello to mom in the or bold mom. What does she call herself? I forget. She has a name on Twitch. Mom Bold. That's what it is.
Let's put I love to hate Tubal in the comments, please.
Don't do that. My mother. You'll disappoint my mother. She'll think I'm hated.
Let's put hi, Mom, in the comments.
Hi, Mom, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom, in the comments. All right, yes, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Please continue to support the channel and everything that we do. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening and watching.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye.